What's up, y'all? It's your boy Dawson from D&D TV. I want to thank everybody who's rated and commented and subscribed. I want to thank all of our new subscribers, especially. Thank you guys for joining this journey with us as we talk about, topics that are happening around the world, and definitely for everybody who's been rocking with us for all these years. We appreciate this. But I want to talk about this particular gentleman right here. This is Pastor Hosea Stubblefield. Reverend Hosea Stubblefield out of Houston, Texas at Salem Missionary Baptist Church. A couple of months ago, Pastor Stubblefield found himself in some controversy when some sex tapes that he made with multiple women, some people in the congregation found out about those sex tapes, and they told him they wanted him removed from the church as pastor. Now, this pastor did say that he did the sex tapes and he apologized for them, but he said that was in his past. And I think he said he did multiple sex tapes over the span of 10 years.
And now he's apologizing. Fox 26's Isaiah Carey has an update on the story he broke that's now getting some national attention.
Salem Missionary Baptist Church's leader, Reverend Hosea Stubblefield, has rallied the troops. He wants to show he has supported their house of worship despite the controversy.
So I would tell anybody, again, I'm not saying it was right. I do apologize about it. However, it was a mistake that was made in my past.
It was Monday when we first reported the former head deacon and some church members wanted Stubblefield gone. That's after the congregation learned their pastor made several explicit sex videos with various women that were posted on a blog.
And I'll be up there in front of the church talking about, God spoke to me. Did he speak to you before or after you made the videos?
Stubblefield acknowledges he made those sex videos. Between 5 and 10 of them, he says, over a 10-year period. The most recent, just 2 years ago. However, the 32-year-old's main point is he wasn't a pastor at Salem Missionary when it happened, but he does admit he was still a preacher.
Was that during the time of the videos? It was involving some of the times of the videos, yes, because I've been a preacher for over 12 years.
Stubblefield says the congregation has kicked out the Davis family, the ones who made the church aware of the sex scandal. He says he's pursuing criminal charges against the person he says stole the videos from him. Some of those videos also ended up on this blog by a woman who said she once dated Stubblefield and she wanted the public to know what kind of man he is.
They were deleted on a computer, and the files were recovered and kept against my knowledge for 7 months to basically use against me.
Stubblefield, who's been with Salem for a year, says the dark day he had when the story first broke has turned into a positive. He says he's received support from all over the country, but he still wants to make this clear.
Watch what you do today, because it could come back and haunt you tomorrow. Just make sure that you're as accountable as you can be for your actions at all times.
Now, we also asked Pastor Stubblefield, why did he decide to make so many sex videos? And he said simply it was a personal preference and that he will be back in the pulpit this Sunday for the Christmas sermon. Isaiah Carey, Fox 26 News.
I did another video last week or the week before last on Pastor Jermaine Simmons out in Jacob Chapel out in Tallahassee. And, I guess it was people who know him or who are in the area, or just people who, whatever, were telling me, you should pray for the man of God. We shouldn't talk about them. And I guess they don't, of course they wouldn't. They don't know how I feel about commitments. They don't know how I feel about marriage. Don't know how I feel about any type of thing that you're committed to. I take that stuff serious. If you say you're going to be committed to a woman, be committed to that woman. If you say you're going to be committed to this man, be committed to that man. If y'all stand before God, if y'all stand before your family, why in the hell would you get everybody together to stand up there and lie? And I know stuff happens in relationships. I know stuff happens in marriages, but that's why it's a commitment. And I told y'all the synonym for commitment, one of the synonyms is tied. We tied together. So even if we getting upset or we having some downtime, we still tied. So commitments, I don't take that lightly. So I don't know how to feel sorry for these guys, especially when they've done it multiple times, making multiple sex tapes when you were married. Or in Pastor Jermaine Simmons' case out in Tallahassee, you slept around on your wife multiple times. That wasn't the first time, dude. And people coming out and they seeing that. So I don't feel sorry for y'all. I feel sorry for y'all's spouse. I feel sorry for the people in the congregation. I feel sorry for the women in the congregation whose husband's going to look up to y'all and say, well, hey, I cheated, but look, pastor cheated and y'all forgave him. Or, pastor did this and y'all forgave him. They're going to use as an excuse. And what you going to say then? Because y'all let pastor go do what he did and still get back the next Sunday and preach to y'all. Didn't take a sabbatical. Didn't go get counseling. Come give y'all this Oscar-worthy performance speech on, yeah, I made a mistake, but God forgive me and we still got a work to do and I'm your pastor and all this. Yeah, you my pastor, but pastor, my child is looking up to you. Pastor, my spouse is looking up to you. And if I ever got in that situation, since you're supposed to be the pastor, evangelist or whatever, I need you to show my spouse, if we ever got in that situation in our relationship, how do we keep going? Yes, you keep going as far as, you stay in your relationship and you try to work it out. But when you're in a position of power, bro, you got to step down. You got to step down. And it's funny to me because it seems like in the Christian world or community, we give pastors, evangelists, preachers, apostles, archbishops, all of those people get a pass. But in the secular world, you let a sexual harassment case come up at your job. Somebody gonna get suspended and they're gonna tell you, hey, until we figure out what's going on, both of y'all just take, hey, we gonna let both of y'all suspended for 3 days or a week or whatever. And then we'll come back and give you the final decision of what we gonna do. Now, if the corporate world or the secular world can do that, how much accountability can the church have? That's all I'm saying. If the corporate world that don't even think about Jesus, don't even think about church, if they could say, look, we're going to suspend both parties until we could figure all this out because we don't want this to taint the rest of the employees at this company. Because, see, how we handle this situation is going to determine how other people feel they can get away with, doing some kind of, sexual harassment against other people at the company. Now, if regular jobs can understand that, the principle of that, why can't the church understand that? When you talk about people who are getting married and they not really you don't really love women. I done talked about that too, because some people were putting it in the comment. Like, what if these pastors had a same-sex experience? Would it be the same thing? If they got caught with a man, or if it was a woman getting caught with a woman, would they be able to get back up and preach the next Sunday? Hell no. We know that. We know that. It's a double standard on that. And what if it was a woman? Would the woman be forgiven just like these men pastors are forgiven? Nope. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. Because you got a bunch of women in the church who and so half of them, and I've said this before, half of them just really like the pastor anyway. That's why most of them will never get a man, because you always comparing every man to the pastor. So since you always comparing every man to the pastor, I hope you get exactly what your pastors right here, what they're giving you. That's what you're going to have in your life, because you accept that. Like you accepted the pastor to be able to cheat on his wife and to make a bunch of sex tapes. And somebody told me, they was like, well, we need to pray because what if God started airing your dirty laundry? Well, look here. If I ever get in a relationship and I cheat, I want my dirty laundry to get aired, because I wouldn't get in there messing up nobody's life. I wouldn't go in there lying to nobody. And I think that and I'm just speaking for me, I'm upfront about what I want. Y'all see, some people, I ain't gonna say y'all, because some people get in relationship, you don't even talk about sex. You don't even talk about, hey, this is what I like to do. This is what, hey, what do you like to do? You don't even get to that part. You just, oh, she look good or he look good. And and my mama like him, my daddy like him. Oh, no, it's more than just that. I was telling somebody in the comment, they was like, it's lust. It's not just about sex. I'm like, but you got to be sexually compatible with people. Because if you really like sex and you get with somebody, your sex level is on like a 20, and you get with somebody who's on like a 6 or a 5, come on, you know what's going to happen there. And all of that can be avoided if you just communicate openly and honestly about what you want, what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate. And define what is cheating for you. Because sometimes emotional cheating is just as bad as the physical stuff. You giving more emotion and more attention to somebody else than your spouse. So when I look at this stuff on these pastors, it is what it is. I think they need to step down and get the counseling they need. Now I'm going to play this video at the end of Pastor Stubblefield Church right here, but bruh, making sex tapes, and those sex tapes are out there, and it's been over the span of years that you've been making these sex tapes, and you were married at one point when you were doing it and still preaching while you were making these sex tapes. And that's what I'm talking about, y'all. I won't preach. I won't get up in front of the church. I won't even get on the pulpit, man, because I don't want to turn nobody the wrong way. And I don't even go to church, and I have more reverence than these dudes. It's just messed up, man. It's just messed up. But hey, it's your guy Dawson. All I'm gonna say, closing, if you're not real, and I don't go to church no more, but I grew up in church. If you're not real, if you don't have a heart for God and a heart for the people, don't get in ministry. If you know that you are a whore and you like to sleep around and you want to do your thing, don't get into ministry, because there's some people out there who really want God. They are hungry and they're thirsty after God, and they don't need you messing them up. They don't need you as a stumbling block. Until then, it's your boy Dawson. Y'all take care. Peace.